how you use simple present tense in conversation or when you're talking to people. So the first person says, "Hi Jackie, it is your neighbor Marie. Do you have time to help me this week?" "Hi Marie, I am very busy with work this week. What do you need help with?" So first I'm going to point out to you some of the simple present tenses. So you'll see that in this question, do you have time? This is simple present because we have do right here, the subject, and then we have the verb have in simple present tense. So what this person is asking is, do you have time? Do you have time this week regularly that you would be able to help me? Is there any part of this week at any time that you have you can help me? So that's why this person is using the simple present tense. You wouldn't really use are you having time this week? Because that's asking them, are they planning on having time? You would ask somebody, do you have time? You would use simple present. You wouldn't say having. Do you having time? You would want to use do you have time because it's simple present tense and not present continuous. You're asking them if there is any time this week that's regular that you would be able to help me. If they said, are you having time this week? It would mean when you use, are you having a time to help me? If you say that in English, it sounds like they were planning it already before you asked them. And so that's why when you first ask somebody something, you use the question form of the present simple or the simple present tense. You say, do you have time? Or do you, do you have time? Can you help me? You use the simple present tense. I need help. There we go. There's another simple present tense. I need help. I need someone to take my dog for a walk while I am on vacation. I will be gone for a week. What is your schedule like? So you'll see that she uses I need help and I need. So when she says I need help and I need someone to take my dog for a walk, it means that she is talking about the present. She's talking about right now, but she's talking about repeatedly. She needs lots of help. She needs help at different times, but all close to right now. So that's why she uses the simple present tense. So she's going on vacation. You'll see that she says, I will be gone. So why didn't she say, I go for a week? Why did she not say, I go for a week? She used I will to let her know that it's in the future. I will be gone instead of I go for a week. Because if she said I go for a week, that would mean that she does her vacations all the time and she does them always for a week. But if she says I will be gone for a week, or if she says I will be going for a week, or I am going for a week, that means that it's something that she's planning in the future. It's something that she wants to do in the future. So that's why she doesn't use the simple present tense here, because she is talking about something that is going to happen in the future. And when she's talking about the help that she needs, she's talking about help that will be happening repeatedly or more than one time. I work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I leave my house at 7 a.m. and get back home around 5:15 p.m. I take the bus. It leaves the office late sometimes. Sometimes I get home at 6 p.m. So she asked her, what is your schedule like? What are you doing this week? And she's saying, I work. So when she says, I work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., that means regularly. It's something that she does a lot. So most of the time, a lot of the time, she works from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So that's why she's using the simple present tense, because it's something that's repeated. It's something that she does a lot. I leave. I leave my house. That's also simple present. So everything that she's saying, like I take the bus and it leaves the office late sometimes, I get home, all of these are in simple present tense because she's talking about her schedule. She's talking about something that happens every week and, Monday through Friday. She's talking about something that happens repeated or something that happens a lot. So that's why she's using the simple present tense when she's talking about her schedule, because it's something that happens a lot and something that is regular. And her neighbor is asking her, telling her, I'm going to be gone on a vacation for a week. I need your help. So her neighbor needs her help multiple times a week or repeated times a week and is asking, what do you do regularly in the week? And so she's saying what she does a lot or all the time. So that's why she's using this simple present tense. Do you think you can take my dog for a walk in the morning and evening while I am gone? So she asks the question, do you think, which is, simple present tense. She's asking, is it possible? That's why we use, you wouldn't say, are you thinking you can take my dog for a walk? Because that means that she's thinking about it right now in the moment. When you ask somebody to help you, or when you're asking for help in English, you want to use the simple present tense. Do you think you can help me? Can you help me? Because if you use the present continuous, like, are you thinking you can help me? It's not really asking them. It's suggesting to them that they were already thinking about it. When you say, can you help me? Or do you think you can help me? We would say that because it's asking for help. It's asking them, do you think you could do this for me? And the neighbor says, I can do my best. So I will wake up earlier in the morning. Do I need to feed your dog at night? So we have some different things going on. So this sentence is in future tense, right? I will wake up earlier in the morning. So she's already said what she does normally, what she does regularly. When she said, I will wake up, instead of saying, I wake up early, she says, I will wake up earlier, because she's saying, since I'm going to be helping you to walk your dog in the morning, I am going to do something different in the future than what I regularly do. If she said, I wake up earlier in the morning, that would sound like she's talking about that's what she does all the time. When she says, I will wake up earlier, it means that normally she doesn't wake up early. if she says, I wake up earlier in the morning, she's telling her, oh, I'm already awake early in the morning all the time anyways. But since she said, I will wake up earlier in the morning to walk the dog, then she's letting the person know, she's letting her neighbor know that that's the future. It is her plan in the future to wake up early, and it isn't something that she regularly does. So that's the difference between those. Do I need to feed your dog at night? So if we changed this sentence to not a question, if we changed it back to just the simple present tense, it would say, I need to feed your dog at night. So when you ask, do I need to feed your dog at night, meaning, do I need to feed your dog regularly while you're gone? Do I need to feed them every day? Do I need to feed them repeatedly? So that's what they mean by, do I need, and they use the simple present tense. And the neighbor says, yes, my dog, so we've got my dog eats after his walk. So we have the subject, which is my dog, and we have the verb, which is eats. We know that this is simple present tense, right? Because my dog is, it. She says his, so I guess we could say he. And we know that we use the simple present verb, right, which is eat, but we have to put an S at the end because we said we used a he, right, as our subject. It's a he. So we say he eats, or my dog eats after his walk. So she's saying, she doesn't say my dog is eating after his walk, because that's talking about something that's happening right now in the moment, or something that will happen in a little bit, that something that will happen soon, or something that we're planning on. She says, my dog eats after his walk. So she's saying regularly all the time, my dog eats after his walk. So you would not say, my dog is eating after his walk, because it wouldn't mean something that he does all the time. It just means something that is happening right now in the moment, or it means something that is going to happen, in the future that we're planning on. So that's why when you talk about something that happens a lot, or something that's a schedule, if you say, my dog eats, and you use the simple present tense, that's why it's important, is because it tells the person that is listening to you if it is happening right now in the moment, or if it's happening a lot repeatedly. Simple present tense tells us that whatever is happening, whatever the action is, it happens a lot and it happens repeatedly. Next she says, I will write the instructions. So she uses the future tense right here. Thank you for your help. Do you need a house key? So she uses the future tense, I will. I will write the instructions, meaning she's going to, in the future is she will write the instructions. She didn't say, I write the instructions, because that would mean that she writes the instructions all the time. But since this is something she is going to do for her neighbor, to give her instructions to take care of her dog, she will, in the future, do it because she needs it. It's not, I write the instructions, because that would mean that she sits there all the time and writes the instructions every day, which isn't what she's talking about. You are welcome. I do need a house key. I will pick it up after work. Talk to you later. Bye. So she uses the future tense. She says, I will pick it. It is the key. I will pick the key up after work. She doesn't say, I pick it up after work. She says, I will. You wouldn't use simple present tense to talk about something that you are doing in the future. You don't use it to talk about the future. You do not use it to talk about something that is happening right now, or if it is something that is going to happen after right now. If she said, I am picking it up, I am picking up the key, I am picking up the key, that would mean that she was in the moment right now going to her neighbor's house to pick up the key. But since she said, I will pick up the key, she's talking about something that will happen in the future. And she did not say, I pick up, which is simple present tense. She doesn't say, I pick it up instead of I will pick it up, because she is not talking about something that she is doing all the time regularly. She doesn't all the time regularly go to pick up the house key. So that's why she uses the future tense, I will pick it up. So we have another conversation. So this one says, hi, Mark. It is nice seeing you. How are you? What are you doing these days? So this sentence right here, this isn't about simple present tense, but this is something that people say in English. And when somebody says, what are you doing these days? They're just asking, what is it that you do? Do you work? Do you go to school? Like, what is happening in your life? That's what it means when somebody in English asks you, what are you doing these days? They're asking, what is happening in your life? And this one says, hey, Jordan, I finished my nursing program. I work at the hospital downtown. What are you doing? So you'll see that he says, I finished instead of I finish my nursing program. He used I finished, meaning past tense, meaning he has already done it. He finished. He did it. It was in the past. So it's already done. So he says, I work. So that means he finished his nursing program, which was the past. He did his nursing program in the past. And he says, I work. I work means that he's doing it regularly now. It happens all the time. So all the time he is working at a hospital downtown. That's what he does now. That's his job. And when somebody says, what are you doing? If you're talking to somebody about, things that you do in your life, what's happening in your life, and they say, what are you doing? They're not really, even though when somebody says, what are you doing? They use the ing verb. It doesn't really mean that they're asking, what are you doing right now? Because they know what you're doing right now. They're talking to you. But when somebody says, what are you doing? They just mean, what's happening in your life? What is happening? What do you do normally? That kind of stuff. And he says, I am finishing. So he used ing, so that's what he's working on right now. I am finishing my PhD program. PhD is, it's something that doctors have PhDs. It's like medical doctors do. It just means that you went to more school after you went to college for 4 years to get your bachelor's degree. That's what a PhD is. It's just more school that you can do after you've already gone to college. Wow, what do you study? I study, so he used the simple present tense, I study computer science and how people engage with technology. So just a little vocab lesson. So engage means how people interact. It means that how people work with technology. Technology is anything like computers, phones, anything that has to do with like anything that's a computer, anything that is anything really that has to do with computers. Your phone is technology, your computer is technology. Some of the stuff that you guys use at work is technology, like they'll say like like, what do they use to disinfect? I think it's UV light technology. They use that kind of stuff. So that's what that means. When he says, I study computer science, it means that right now, that's what he's doing a lot. He studies computer science. I study computer science. So that's why he uses the simple present tense, because he's talking about something that he is doing a lot right now. That's what he is doing a lot in his life. That sounds cool. Why did you choose to study that? So even though he just said that he says I study, which is simple present tense, meaning he does it a lot, he made the decision in the past to study the computer science. So that's why his friend is asking, why did you choose to study that? What made you decide to study that? What made you choose? That's why he uses why did you, because he chose to do it in the past. He chose to study this in the past. But he studies it now, meaning he does it a lot. So that's why he used the past tense when he asked the question. I love computers. So he used the simple present tense. I loved them when I was a kid too. So you'll see that there are two different tenses, two different ways to talk about time in these two sentences. This sentence says, I love computers. This means that what this action word love, he loves computers right now, all the time. It's something that he enjoys. It's something that he does. It's something that he likes. It's something that he loves. So it's something that right now is important to him. It's something that he loves. He says, I loved them when I was a kid too. So he's talking about two different times in his life. One is right now in the present, and this other one is in the past. I loved, past tense, them when I was a kid too. So he's saying when he was a kid, he really loved computers. Now, all the time, he still loves computers. So that's why he uses two different tenses, is he's talking about two different times in his life. Right now, which is the present, and he's talking about the past. He loved them in the past, and he loves them now. He could say, I am loving computers. I am loving computers. But if you said, I am loving computers, it means that in the moment, it's not something that's regular for you. It's not something that you don't always love computers, or you don't regularly love computers. But if you say, I love computers, it means that it's something that is all the time for you. It's something that you always love. So that's what the difference is. It sounds like you love it. So that's the end of that conversation. So we're going to have one more practice conversation. So this one says, hey Todd, what is your schedule today? So he's asking about a schedule. I am eating lunch at 1. Then I am working until 6. So you'll see that this person responded with present continuous verb tense, right? Something that we used to talk about, things that we're planning on doing or things that are happening right now. The reason he's answering with ing, present continuous verb tense, is because the person asks, what is your schedule today? They're not talking about all the time. They're talking about right now, in the moment. What is your schedule today? So that's why he says, I am eating lunch at 1. So something that he is planning on doing soon, something that will happen. Then I am working until 6. It's something that he is either doing right now, right, in the moment, or it's something that will happen very soon. is that your regular schedule? So he's asking the question, is that what you normally do? And he says no. Usually, which is normal, like all the time, usually just means something that happens all the time. Usually I eat, uses simple present tense, I eat lunch at 11, and I leave at 5. So when he's asked about something that he does regularly or a lot or something that he does normally, he uses the simple present tense. I eat lunch or I leave at 5. So that means when he's saying this, he means that it happens a lot. When you use ing, I am eating lunch at this time or I am doing this, it means that it's something that is happening right now in the moment, or it's something that you are planning on doing. It's something that will happen very soon. So that's why when you're talking about time with somebody and they ask you what you are doing or what you have plans for, it's important to choose present continuous or simple present tense, which is what we've been studying. When you say the subject and then the verb and the simple present verb with a simple present verb, that means you are talking about something that happens a lot and something that happens regularly. It's not something that when you use ing, what are you doing? I am leaving. It means that it's something that is happening right now, and that's why when you ask somebody to help you, you use the simple present tense, because if you use ing, it means, if you said, can you helping me? That doesn't work because when we use ing, you have to use am or is or are, or was or were. Were you helping me? Are you helping me? That means that you're asking somebody about it right then in the moment, right now. If you're asking somebody for help, they haven't been able to help you yet. They have not helped you yet. So that's why you say, can you help me? So you use simple present tense when you're talking about something something that happens a lot, something that happens regularly, or when you're asking somebody for help, or when you're asking them, a question. So that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions.